This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Called the Angel of Mercy, Saint of the Gutters. Blessed Mother Teresa of Calcutta founded the Order of the Missionaries of Charity, a Roman Catholic congregation of women dedicated to helping the poor. In 1962, she received the Ramon Magsaysay Award for International Understanding. In 1979, she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her humanitarian work.
Right from the very beginning, I wanted to serve the poor purely for the love of God and to give them what the rich people get with money. I wanted to give to the poor for the love of God.
She died in September 1997 and was beatified in October 2003. Pope Francis cleared the way for her to be canonized as a saint on September 4, 2016. Mother Teresa has touched many lives around the world. This week on Profiles, we get to know the icon of charity and mercy through the eyes of two individuals whose lives were forever changed by their personal encounters with her in the Philippines. We begin with Bishop Gabriel Reyes of the Archdiocese of Antipolo. After decades, he still vividly remembers Blessed Mother Teresa's gracious words, her ordinary ways, and sense of humor. Bishop Gabriel Reyes, welcome to Profiles. Thank you for having us in your beautiful residence.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming.
Bishop, you met Mother Teresa several times. You know her quite well. Tell us about how you came to know her and what she was like.
Well, I was able to meet Mother Teresa because at that time, I was the secretary of Cardinal Sin. No? Cardinal Sin was made Archbishop of Manila, I think, in 1974. No? I was his secretary. And one of the things he would like to do then was how to help the poor in Manila. And so he wrote a letter to Mother Teresa at that time because she was then famous for helping the poor and asking Mother Teresa to put up a house in Manila for the poor. But then Mother Teresa answered that, sorry, I cannot put up a house there because we lack personnel, we lack sisters. So then Cardinal Sin at that time, wrote back and said, you know, Mother, when I have finished my tenure as Archbishop of Manila and I will appear before the Lord, he might ask me, why haven't you done enough for the poor in Manila? I will answer the Lord, it's because Mother Teresa did not come to Manila. So,
he put the pressure on her.
So because of that, she came.
Yes. So that's why she decided to put up some centers. So she came in 1977.
Yeah, that was the beginning of putting up houses in the Philippines. Since I was the secretary, the Cardinal told me, why don't you be the one to accompany Mother Teresa? Another time she came here, it was 1981.
Okay.
At that time, the Holy Father was about to come here, you know? And just before he came, that was in February, I think, I was told that I'm going to be a bishop. And at that time, Mother Teresa was also here because she wanted to witness the Pope here in the Philippines, to meet him. And I went to see her in Tayuman, Tondo, no? And where
another area of one of their centers.
Where they have this the house for the dying destitute, and where they have the novitiate. I told her that, Mother, I said, I'm going to be a bishop. What advice can you give me about being a bishop? Well, she said, I will give you 2 pieces of advice. The first advice is this: be a happy bishop. And then the second, he said, of course, do not forget the poor. Because once you forget the poor, you forget Christ. And then another thing that I also remember, when the house for the dying destitute was finished in Tayuman, in Tondo, I was able to accompany her in going there inside. And while there, I saw the sisters taking care of the dying destitute. I was beside her and I told her, Mother, I said, I'll be able to do this maybe for 1 month, for 2 months, no, but after that, I'll not be able to continue.
It's difficult, huh?
Yeah. So, well, she said, Monsignor, don't worry, no. Well, there are things that we can do which you cannot do, no. But there are also things which you can do which we cannot do. So just go where God calls you. One thing that I also could not forget is that the first time she was here, I was accompanying her to talk to priests, no, to nuns. And one time when he was talking to a group of priests and nuns during the open forum, there was a priest who said, Mother, your work to help the poor is good, but it's only a palliative. It doesn't really solve poverty in a basic way, in a permanent way, you know. We should really do the work that will permanently solve the problem of poverty. Yeah. Well, she said, Father, our work that we can do, our sisters, well, we try to help in the here and now needs of our people, of our poor people. Those who are now hungry, those who are now sick, no? They cannot wait for the solution of this basic problem. It will take a long time. So, but they need food now. They need to be taken care of now. So we do that, no? So she said, once there is a person who is hungry and sick, we'll try to give them food, make him more healthy. And once he's healthy, we'll give him to you and look for a job for him.
Is that right? But just on that point, Bishop, I'm curious to know, because there was also some criticism on the way they were handling some of these dying and destitute, especially in India, that they weren't given the medical care that they really needed. What would you say about that? And maybe if they got certain better medical attention, they could have gotten better.
Well, of course, the Mother Teresa does not have enough funds to have a first-class hospital, no? But they are doing what they can, no? Because there's nobody helping that poor, so they do what they can to help the poor. No? So if there are people who can help better, of course they will give them to that institution or that fellow. No, but I think there are so many poor people around that they cannot all get the first-class medical attention. No?
Bishop, most of the saints have this common story of helping the poor. For you, what do you think sets Mother Teresa apart? What makes her different? You know, one time she told me, Father, I am surprised why I became famous for helping the poor. Because she was telling me, in India, there are many groups helping the poor. I think he said, even the Salesians, I think they are helping the poor more than I do. But I don't know why the Lord made me, known to be helping the poor. But, it's up to the Lord why he may be a kind of, famous for helping the poor. Always, he said, I'm always telling our sisters to help with joy, to serve the poor with joy. Well, this is Stampita we place here. First time it was placed at the sacristy of the cathedral, because it says here, O priest of God, celebrate the Mass as if it were your first Mass, your last Mass, your only Mass. Is that something Mother Teresa said?
Yeah, although that was also said by other people. But he also was always repeating it whenever he talks to the priest.
Nice. It's also the way to live life, isn't it? Each day.
Life is good. Yes, there's less hair and a few more inches around the waist. But there's also weekends, naps on the couch, and lots of private jokes. I have no regrets. Zero. You see, that's the secret. Let go of the bitterness. Life is good, and life at 40, even better.
May gagaling pa ba sa Petron Value Card? I just gas up and I get more Petron Peso points.
I can even get discounts for engine oils or exchange my points for miles.
I get automatic bonus points on my birthday.
Parking? Ang dali!
My shopping discounts pa for me.
Ang galing, di ba? I get these and more all year round with my Petron Value Card because Petron knows we deserve only the best.
We're here now at Pico de Loro, Batangas with all our media friends and partners to experience the newest phone of Oppo. We're actually launching the newest family of our F series, the Oppo F1S. The main feature that people buy into a phone is the camera because as we all know, Philippines is the capital of selfies.
We have different types of filters, beautify filters, adjust also your skin tones. At the same time, you can also use palm shutter or your voice command. In terms of specifications, we do not only carry 16 megapixel front camera, but also we are the first to offer a dual SIM 4G LTE slot. At the same time, that allows the user to also be able to upgrade their memory to 128 gig RAM.
Grab the newest Oppo F1S for only $12,990 for you to be a selfie expert.
Bishop Gabriel Reyes met Mother Teresa on 2 of her visits to the country. He even served as her guide in Manila.
Well, this picture with Mother Teresa is in Pasay, in Taft, no? Because the Coanco family, they lent their house, an old house there, for a house for street children. And this Ben Atwa and Pichi Atwa, they were among those who were helping that house for street children. I was then, at that time, parish priest of Santa Clara, Pasay. So they asked me if I could request Mother Teresa to go there. No? So I asked Mother Teresa, and she came. No? Yeah.
So how was she then, though, that visit? I mean, how was she with people?
Well, he was always available to people, of course, not for a long time because we have to go to another place.
And at that time, there were no bodyguards, no? People could really go up to her, but she was not being, hounded by people. You met several popes in your lifetime.
John the 23rd, Pope Paul VI, and then John Paul I. Who died after 1 month. And then John Paul II, and Pope Benedict, and then Pope Francis. Wow. I was able to accompany Cardinal Sin during the conclave where John Paul I was elected.
Wow.
But he was only Pope for 1 month.
Many people compare Mother Teresa to Pope Francis. They're very similar, they say.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest message that people can take out of her life, especially in this day and age where, everybody's so distracted with technology, too much material things?
Well, I think one of the things that common between this Mother Teresa and Pope Francis is that this stress to pay more and first attention to the poor, no? And secondly, of course, that what she was saying, that do it with joy. Because Pope Francis is also stressing that, no? Joy. In fact, one of his first letter, I think, or second letter, as a Pope was about Evangelii Gaudium, the joy of the gospel, that encountering Christ will give you real joy in your life.
And finally, Bishop, what is your message to the people? Canonization is happening. She's Mother Teresa is set to be canonized on September 4th. For the Filipinos especially, as we face a very turbulent time, what would your message be to the people?
First of all, of course, the message I think that Mother Teresa's life is giving us is that we should really give more time and attention and effort for the poor, no? That's it. And secondly, well, I am repeating myself, that joy, because life, there are many problems in life, there are many sorrows, but they should have that joy despite that faith in God who loves us and who will see to it that things will end up for good. Because I remember there was a book about her letters. And in those letters, she was saying that for almost 3 decades, she was experiencing that doubt, doubting even whether God exists or not, no consolation in prayer, no? But when I saw her, you do not see it in her, no? She knows, I think, the problems in the world, she knows that firsthand, but there was that joy, you know, to be joyful in midst of difficulties or problems. That is a grace from the Lord.
Be joyful amidst difficulties. Very good advice for everyone. Thank you very much, Bishop Reyes. Journalist Teresa Reyes Tunay began volunteer work for the Missionaries of Charity Home for the Dying Destitute in 1981. Her encounter with Mother Teresa on her 3rd visit to the Philippines in the 80s left a deep and lasting impression on Teresa that continues to inspire her today. Teresa Tunay, welcome to Profiles.
Thank you for having me.
And you had a close encounter with Mother Teresa. You, in fact, first volunteered for her Missionaries for Charities here in the Philippines. How did you start? Why did you get into that?
First, I was volunteering, no? Because I like working with old people. I like cheering them up. And so when I heard that there was a home for the dying destitute here, so Mother Teresa, so I volunteered. And since then, I had been known to the sisters. And so when news of Mother Teresa coming to the Philippines was up, they informed me, Mother Teresa is coming over. Would you like to be here when she's here? Of course, sabi kong ganon. So that's it. So we met there.
And what was that like? What was she like when you saw her? Because you're a journalist. In fact, when you saw her, you said you forgot all
about it. I went there with a photographer and the manager of our magazine, which was Woman Today that time. It was a new magazine then. And I was sort of angling for an interview afterwards. I listened to her talk. I sat there listening and listening and listening. And I forgot about my purpose of interviewing her because I was so mesmerized by what she was saying.
So what did she say to you? You had a moment with her, no? She talked
yes,
to
but
you.
It was a very brief moment. And because we were with other people walking through the garden, I was just able to say that I appreciated her talk, and I was marveling at how she does it. Because when you watch her talk, you behold her, because here is some magic happening before your eyes. She told me that a lot of problems in this world could be solved if only we saw Jesus in one another. And that was the very same thing that made her go on, made her continue whatever she was doing.
You tried to volunteer at the main house in Calcutta.
I did. After that, I wasn't aware that we were being photographed by a photographer. Natural, trabaho niya yun, no? When I approached her, I did what every Filipino would do before a revered person. Mano po, sabi ko ganun. Mano po. And she never let my hand go. So when we were walking, holding hands, nakuha na ng picture yon. And after that, I was really in awe. When I saw the pictures, I sent them to Calcutta and wrote a little note for her asking if I could volunteer in her house in Calcutta. People from all over the world would spend days, months volunteering, working, doing things that I would do in Manila. But she answered me back. First, she autographed the photo, sent it back with a note. She said, our house in Calcutta is already overcrowded, but here in Manila, they need you more, so stay there. And I did.
Yeah, and there's a lot that you... And what was it like? What did you do at this house? At the time, it was called the House for the Dying Destitute.
I would do whatever the sisters would want me to do. And that time, during the start, I would help with the laundry. And I would bathe the sick, trim the nails, cut their hair, whichever way, give them a back rub, foot massage, hand massage. Just be warm to them, but most of all, listen to them. Because these people are very lonely. They're abandoned na sila ng families nila.
ng sarap ng Red Horse Beer.
Red Horse Extra Strong, the #1 beer.
Since you actually worked in one of these centers, what would you say to this criticism? There were some women that worked in their homes in Calcutta that said that they weren't happy with the way things were going, that sometimes the syringes, they would move around. They said the sick were not being treated.
I read about that also. And I think those criticisms mostly were coming from the West.
Yeah.
These people who are used to comfort, who are used to having good hospitals here and there. But my thinking is, look, in the first place, Mother Teresa is not running a hospital, no? She doesn't ask people to come over here, we will heal your sick, we will bring them back to life or anything like that. No. It is a house to prepare them to die with dignity. That's why they pick up people sick, dying, abandoned in the streets and give them a decent shelter, healing the soul, preparing it for death, for a happy death, and a death in the arms of God, if you would call it that.
Yes.
And I have seen dying people here in Tayuman.
Yeah.
And I have seen the dedication of the sisters, talaga.
Mother Teresa was also criticized for having relationships with dubious figures. For example, the Haitian dictator Jean-Claude Duvalier, even the American financier Charles Keating. People were saying, why was she even mixing with these people?
What's wrong with that?
Happens today, no?
Ganyan talaga, when you're already very holy. Wala nang good people, bad people, I should associate with you, I should not associate with you. The thing is, she gives these people a chance to help the poor. She gives these people a chance to do good and to make up for their maybe sins or bad deeds or whatever.
So in a way, by being with them, it's like she's also helping to change these lives.
For all you know, nagli-lead yun sa conversion, di ba? When these people are touched that the Mother Teresa is coming to them in spite of they know what they are. So they're reminded of God and they're reminded of kindness and compassion. So I think it's a thing to look at.
Yeah. Well, on conversion, you went through your own journey of conversion, right? That's a very interesting story.
Yeah, it's a very long journey.
Mother Teresa was part of that journey.
Mother Teresa was part of that journey. I would say that Mother Teresa used her in a way in my journey towards him. But my conversion is a very long thing that started, I can't even pinpoint, but when I went back to church to kneel again and to pray again, that was, I think, 1980, 81.
So you were
before that, agnostic ako, even during that time. And during the year that I met Mother Teresa, I was already returning to church and to practices. It was deepened. The experiences I had, we call them God experiences, were enhanced by this encounter with Mother Teresa, because whereas I would only read about the lives of saints and study the lives of saints, study God, theology and all that, here Mother Teresa was giving me the gospel in flesh and blood.
It's nice to say that because we kind of relate to the humanity of these saints. For example, those letters that came out after her death. If I can read something to you. One of the things she wrote is that she says, I call, I cling, I want, and there's no one to answer. I'm alone. Where's my faith? Even deep down right in there is nothing. I have no faith. So she was questioning. And you, did that resonate with you?
Yes. Also, very much, because I'm a Carmelite.
Secular Carmelite.
Secular Carmelite. And this, we understand these experiences of having nothing and feeling that the more you try, the more God takes himself farther away from you, that there is no God, and you question your good things. Like Mother Teresa, she questioned if she was doing everything she was doing for God really, or only for herself. We call it the dark night of the soul in Carmel, no? And let's just refer to it as a dark night. When you persevere, that is already grace, because it's already God working through you. Remember, Mother Teresa did this for, I don't know how many years she was in doubt. Several years,
yeah.
several years.
Went for quite some time.
50 years yun
Never, yeah.
We only learned about it after her death because of the letters, no? But all these things she was accomplishing. And the world knew that. And the world didn't see those doubts. Yeah. That means it was grace working through her. It was really God working through her. You can see her holiness already while she was still alive. People would refer to her as a living saint, and rightly so. I think she deserved that.
What do you think it means in this day and age to be a saint?
I can just sum it up in one word: love. And if you are, even for non-Catholics, no, whatever your religion or whether you have a religion or not, as long as you love, you can be holy. You can be a saint. You love, you forgive. That's very important. You forgive. And if you have a religion, you follow your religion. If you are a Catholic, for example, if you are a Christian, you follow Christ. You imitate Christ. You try to align your will to the Father's will, not only yourself. No, me.
You attended the beatification of Blessed Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa also. I did.
How do you plan to celebrate the canonization?
I promised her that I would spend that day, I would celebrate that day, helping her poor
in Tayuman, Center Tayuman.
The very place where I met her.
Wow, where it all began.
Yeah, where it all began.
So you'll be going back to Tayuman to help. What is it that you look forward to? What are you hoping for, expecting, and what do you think you'll get out of this?
Because when I go there, I just leave myself in the hands of the sister. Sister, what do you want me to do today? Once I was assigned to cut the hair of somebody they picked up wandering the streets, and medyo nawawala na ng isip. So may gunting akong dala nun. Sabi niya, kupitin mo nga yung buhok nito. Kasi ang dami-dami ng lice at saka yung sore sa ulo niya, dikit-dikit na yung buhok niya.
When you think about this mark that Mother Teresa has made in your life,
it's a reminder na these are the things we really want to do if we want to truly love the Lord, ganon, and truly be an instrument of His love. Yung kanyang simplicity, ganon, at saka yung pag niyakap niya yung mga may sakit, parang si Pope Francis ang niyakap niya yung parang may ketong, gano'n. They don't think anymore about themselves, but only about the other person.
Thank you for sharing your stories with us, Teresa.
Thank you
very much. Nice talking to you.